Hey all, it's Coriander Stone, and I just finished watching the first episode of Kimetru No Yaiba. I'm pretty sure I mispronounced that, but, well, whatever. So what did I think of it? It's got some potential, but I'm not super optimistic. Honestly, the thing that disappointed me the most about this production was the story, which is too bad considering the high values and qualities on display for literally everything else. I mean, this is a ufotable production, so it goes without saying that the animation is gorgeous. This style tends to be a little bit different from their normal Fate-centric style. The backgrounds still have the same level of polish, and the 3D animation on the trees in the forest was absolutely gorgeous, but the animation style for the people seems to be a more flat, more 2D animation style that looks more like mid-2000s anime than it does the modern stuff that ufotable usually puts out, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, and it still looks good. And I also really love the animation they use for like the magic powers that we've seen featured in the opening so far. I also absolutely love the sound design. Everything from the soundtrack to the opening really gave me chills. Unfortunately, like I said, the plot, not so much. So far, we got introduced to our main character, whose name I'm gonna go check on the wiki in a minute, and whose entire family gets murderized within the first 10 minutes. So far, the plot and premise of the story seem to be that Tanjiro, the name of our protagonist is Tanjiro, I just had to look it up, that's how memorable he is right now, or maybe it's just that I'm bad at names. Anyway, Tanjiro sets out to save his sister. After his whole family was murdered, she was the only one who was semi-alive because she was turned into a demon by the demon who killed all his family, so now he's setting out to turn her back into a human. And yeah, that's pretty much the premise. The first episode was taken up by Tanjiro being introduced, a bit of painful exposition, painful because of how much exposition it was, and then his family getting murdered, and then an encounter with a samurai whose job it is to slay demons, who is going to kill his sister, but then Tanjiro and his sister proved that she still had some of said sister left in her, so then he decided not to, and yeah. Like I said, nothing super original going on here. But the one thing I will say for it is that it felt kind of rushed through, and normally that would be a bad thing, but to me it felt like it was rushed through because the story was trying to get somewhere. It wanted to get the opening stuff, the premise details, all that out of the way as fast as possible so it could get onto the meat of the story. And so I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt on that regard. I'm willing to give it another episode or two to see if, hey, maybe that's what it was. Maybe it needed to get past that initial semi-generic premise so it could get onto the interesting bits of character and whatever else the story's planning to do with itself. Here's hoping anyway. My instinct so far is that this is going to be a 3 to 4 star show. Not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but we'll wait and see if it makes it past generic. This is Coriander Stone, and I thank you for watching. El Sai Congru.